whispered logic puzzles. Thank you for joining me. I'm Andrea, and I'm going to work on this Sudoku puzzle. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is I like to go in chronological order, so I'm going to start with the ones. So, in the first box, there's a 1 in this column, and a 1 in this column, and a 1 in this row. So this is a 1 here. Since there's a 1 in this row, I know there will be a 1 in this column. Then there's a 1 in this column. There's a 1 in this row, and a 1 in this row. So I have a 1 right here. There's a 1 in this column. There's a 1 in this column. And there's a 1 in this row. So got a 1 right here. Okay. And well, let's go back to this one. There's a 1 in this row and a 1 in this row. So there's that 1 right there. So well, that was a good start. Got all of the 1s. Right, and then the 2s. There's a 2 in this row. There's a 2 in this row. There's a 2 in this column. So this is a 2. Okay, let's see. Down here, there's a 2 in this column. There's a 2 in this row, and there's a 2 in this row. So this is the 2. And, okay, there's a 2 in this column and a 2 in this column. So in this square will be either the top or the bottom. Then over here there's a 2 in this column and a 2 in this column. So here it will also be either the top or the bottom. So one of these will be the top and the other will be the bottom. In the center, there's a 2 in this column and a 2 in this column. Then I know the top and the bottom will have 2s. So there's the 2 here. Okay, let me look at 3s. 3. In this center square, there's a 3 in this column and a 3 in this column. There's a 3 in this row and a 3 in this row. So there's a 3. And that might be all I can do with the 3s right now. Let's see about 4. 4. All right, let me look at 5s. 5. Okay. Over here, there's a 5 in this row. There's a 5 in this row. And there's a 5 in this column. So this is the 5. Okay, down here, it's a 5 in this column and a 5 in this column. So here is the 5. Down here, it's a 5 in this row and a 5 in this row. So there's a 5. And then if I come up here, there's a 5 in this column, a 5 in this column, and then a 5 in this row. Meaning this sevens. Seven. Okay, over here, there's a 7 in this column, and there's a 7 in this row, so that's a 7. Then here, there's a 7 in this row, and a 7 in this row, so there's a 7. Okay, if I go up here, there's a 7 in this column, which means there will be a 7 in this row. So now I'm going to extend it to this side. There's a 7 in this row. There's also a 7 in this column and a 7 in this column, which means there will be a 7 right here. And now extend that over here. There's a 7 in the top row. Now there's a 7 in the bottom row. And there's a 7 in this column. So this is a 7. And okay, let's look at 8s. 8. Okay, I don't think I can put any 8s in. Let's look at 9s. Okay, right here, I've got a 9 in this row and a 9 in this column. So there's my 9. Down here, I have a 9 in this column. So here's my 9. Down here I have a 9 in this column and a 9 in this column, and then there's a 9 in this row. So there's my 9. Over here I have a 9 in this row, which means there will be a 9 in this column. So let's extend that up. There's a 9 in this row, so here's my 9 here. And then with the 9 in this column, and the 9 in this column, then the 9 in this row, here's my 9 there. And I don't think I can get the others quite yet. So let's look at this square, because I only have 1 missing. So I have 1, and then I get to the 2 that's missing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, over here, I've got a 2 in this row and a 2 in this row. So the 2's there. Okay, now my 2's are done. And let's go ahead and pick one of these that only have 2 missing numbers. 1, 2, okay, 3. There's a 3 in this row, so this is the 3. I have 4, 5, 6, 7. This will be the 8 and 9. Okay. And knowing that that's a 3, if I look down here, I've got a 3 in this column, a 3 in this column, and here's my 3 down here. And then moving over here, there's a 3 in this row and a 3 in this column. So here's my 3 here. And coming up here, I have a 3 in this column and a 3 in this column. So there's my 3 there. Okay, so now sounds just easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And with that 6, there's a 6 in this column, 6 in this column, so the 6 here is right there. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right here. And in this column I have 1, 2, 3, don't have a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In this row I have 1, 2, 3. I don't have a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, now there's 2 missing in this square. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need 8 and 9. There's a 9 in this column. So this is the 9 and this is the 8. And then looking down here, since there's an 8 in this column, this 8 is right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 7, 8, 9. And let's see, we'll do this column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Missing the 6, 7, 8, 9. And now this row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This bottom row is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now this square is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This column is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This square I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a 6 in this row, so this is the 6, 7, and 8, 9. And down here we have 1, 2, 3. There's a 4 in this column, so this is the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that came together so easy and quick. I was expecting it to take a little bit longer. Let's go ahead and just flip this page and do the one that's right here. Okay. Over here, I have a 1 in this column and a 1 in this row, which means there will be a 1 in this column. Extend that down here, I have a 1 in this column and a 1 in this column. So here's my 1. Okay. this row, and a 4 in this row, and a 4 in this column, and this column, and I've got my 4 right there. Okay. Over here, I have a 5 in this row, a 5 in this row, a 5 in this column, and a 5 in this column. So there's my 5. Over here, I have a 5 in this row, and a 5 in this row. So here's my 5. Okay, come down here. 5 in this column, 5 in this column, 5 in this row. So here's my 5. And that looks like all the 5s. 6. Over here, I have a 6 in this row and a 6 in this row. So here's my 6. Up here, I have a 6 in this row, 6 in this column. So here's my 6. And up here, I have a 6 in this column and a 6 in this column. So here's my 6. And here, I have a 6 in this column, a 6 in this column, and a 6 in this row. So here's my 6. Okay, I think that's all I can do there. Let's see. Here I have a 7 in this column and a 7 in this row. So here's my 7. Okay, something to notice. I have a 7 in this row. That means one of these two columns will be a 7. Down here, one of these two columns will be a 7 again. So I go up here, and it's this first column in this square that will be the 7. But I've got one in this row and one in this row. So this will be my 7. Alright, let me look at 8. 8. Not sure if I see any 8s yet. And let's look at 9. Okay, right here, I have a 9 in this row, a 9 in this column. So here's a 9. And that might be all I've got there right now. Okay. I'm going to look at something with 1. I've got a 1 in this row. That means there will be a 1 in this column, so I take that down. That means there will be a 1 in this row. I bring it over. So there's a 1 in this row, and a 1 in this row, and a 1 in this column. So there's my 1. Up here, there's a 1 in this column, and a 1 in this row. So there's my 1. Down here, there's a 1 in this column, and a 1 in this column, and a 1 in this row. So there's my 1. Over here, there's a 1 in this row, and a 1 in this row. So here's my 1. Okay. Okay, let's see. there's a 2 in this column and a 2 in this row, which means there will be a 2 in this row, and I'll extend it over here. That means the 2 here is right there. The square, there's a 2 in this column and a 2 in this column. So I'll put my 2 right there. Over here, there's a 2 in this row, which means there will be a 2 in this row. So I'll extend that over here. 2 in the top row, 2 in this row, and a 2 in this column, and a 2 in this column. So my 2's right here. Okay. Alright, let me look at 3's. Okay, there's a 3 in this column, which means there will be a 3 in this column. Then there's a 3 in this row, so this is my 3. Over here, there's a 3 in this row, and a 3 in this row. So here's my 3. Bottom, 3, 3. Alright, let's look at 4. 4. Okay, in here, there's a 4 in this row, and a 4 in this row, a 4 in this column, so there's a 4 right here. Extend this up, there's a 4 in this column, and a 4 in this column, so this is a 4. Okay, got all my 4's now, and 5. Okay, I have all the 5's. See, 6. Okay, over here, there's a 6 in this row, which means this is my 6. Down here, I have a 6 in this column and a 6 in this column, so this is my 6. And I think I now have all of my 6's. And with 7's. Okay, down here, there's a 7 in this column. So this is a 7. Bring it up here, there's a 7 in this column and a 7 in this row, so this is my 7. Over here, there's a 7 in this row. So here's my 7. I'm just gonna finish this one up. 1, 2, this will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, in this column, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is my 8, and then there's a 3 in this column, so here's my 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This row I have 1, 2, and then the 3 will go right there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Down here, I have 1, 2. When it comes to 3, I have a 3 in this column and a 3 in this row. So here's my 3. And then let's take the 3s over here. There's a 3 in this row, a 3 in this row. There's a 3 in this column and a 3 in this column. So here's my 3s. Let's look at 1s. I've got a 1 in this row and a 1 in this row. Then a 1 in this column. So here's my 1. And then I'm going to look here for 1s because I've got a 1 in this column and a 1 in this column. So there's my 1. Down here, I have a 2 in this row and a 2 in this row. So there's my 2. And then the 2 in this column extends up. So here's my 2. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And in this column I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here I did the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a 7 in this column, so one of these is a 7. Then there's an 8 in this row, and an 8 in this column, so here's my 8. And now with that 7 in this column, I know my 7's over here. That puts my 9 right there. Now we're to the last square, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there we go. I had my pencil here, sitting ready for coming across to some unknowns, but it wasn't needed for either of the puzzles today.